I'm Leah James, and this is the Traveling Table Dinner Series.
The question is, what is something you wish more people understood? Especially right now, I wish that more people understood like how dire things are for the queer community. I mean, I'm like preaching to the choir here because like we all know, we like live it every day. But I think like the wider world, like I wish people were taking it more seriously, doing more things, being active allies instead of just being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like post this thing on Instagram and that's like, check my box, I like did my allyship for the day. People are not really aware of like how it's really impacting queer and trans people, that we can't like opt out of it. You know, like this is our lives. Like we live this every day and like we don't have a choice to like just be like, oh, I don't want to deal with it today, because like that's our lives. For me, I'm just seeing like a lot of like, well, I don't know what to do, you know, or like I don't know how to help it, or I just feel like paralyzed by like, you know, what's going on and I'm not sure like, you know, what action to take. I think people are getting stuck in that and like not moving past it. It's very hurtful, like as, you know, a queer and trans person like living today, like I'm not seeing people I love like, you know, sticking up for me in ways they should be, or like, you know, things like that. And it is hurtful. It's not just like a news story or like, you know, something happening in another state that like doesn't impact us. Like, you know, I have a lot of people that are like, oh, well, you live in Maryland. It's like a trans sanctuary state now. And like, that's so great. But it's like, that, I mean, that's great. It's great. But next year that could be different. You know, like I might lose access to like hormone therapy and like all of these things that like, you know, have kept me like going in life and like alive, not to get dark, but like, you know, that's, like, you know, a very true thing for me. So it's like one of those things that I just feel like people are like, oh, well, it doesn't impact me. So like, whatever, you know, and also like people in the queer community too. Like I've seen, you know, a lot of like apathy towards things because it's like, oh, well, I'm like cisgender and white, so like whatever, you know, like it doesn't impact me. So I think that's just something that has been on my mind a lot, is like I just wish people were moving through this differently than they are.
Is there something that like if you'd want someone to like walk away from this, whether it's one of us, right? Because like even though we're all in this as well, like we all might be showing up differently too. Like if there's something that you want all of us to walk away thinking, or someone else that's maybe not here at this table, like what is that one action for you? Not generalize it for like everybody, but like specifically for you.
One thing that I would want to make clear is like, it's not my responsibility to like tell you what you should do, you know, like I want you to know what you should do. And that comes from like you educating yourself and like you taking the responsibility to do that stuff, and not me being like, all right, here's the whole list of like people I want you to email and, you know, all this stuff. Like I want you to do that. I don't owe education to like anybody. So
Thank you.
I don't owe like emotional labor to anybody. So I already do enough as it is. So
Absolutely.
I think just educate yourself and then like take action. Like your allyship has to be active. It cannot just be I'm an ally, you know. It's a verb for a reason. Like you have to do things. You can't just give yourself that title. You have to earn it. So
Who would you like to pass the question to between the three of you?
I think I'm going to pass it to Gab.
Yeah, something I think like what's been kind of zooming around in my head since I read this question. Our world, our society, it requires you to be in community with others, to live authentically and to really tap into your full self. Like it requires you to like show up for other people. Even just the stage of allyship, you know, advocate, co-conspirator, and how like we are moving through, like you really have to be in it with me, right? Like it doesn't matter if you don't understand what I'm going through, but like the point is I'm telling you that this is my experience, and if you love me, if you care about me, if you care about our country or our community, like you need to do something. That's why I'm saying that it's really important that we realize that we need to be in community with everyone and not just ourselves or the people who we know agree with us. That's kind of what's been swirling around in my head, that like we as a community need to be there for each other, and we need to like stop thinking about ourselves and like really care about everyone.
Absolutely. But I mean, like, that's why I hit the road in 2021. I needed to believe that there were still people that cared about each other and like people that still wanted to meet people outside of their community, right? Like, being in an echo chamber is so dangerous because we're just like reaffirmed by what we were already thinking. We're not challenging each other, like learning from each other and like saying something wrong and being able to say, hey, actually, like that rubbed me really wrong. Like, can we reconfigure that? Or like, you know, pushing back on me, asking you, like, what could people do? And saying like, actually, it's not my job. 100%. And like, the more that we hide away from that or like don't push ourselves to talk to people outside of our comfort zone, we aren't going to stretch ourselves or like learn new things or build a community that actually like cares for everybody. It's why we have so many problems, right? So thank you for, I think, highlighting that.
I do want to add on to that I think that there is an important distinction between like being in echo chambers and then like also like protecting yourself or being in affinity groups, because I think that like there are like, yes, echo chambers can be dangerous, and like for people who are at multiple marginalized, vulnerable intersections, like oftentimes it is important to like build that community, protect yourself, find like affirmations and validation in your experience, because on the outside, right, our whole, like I think about what you were saying earlier around like, why did I feel so scared when the people around me didn't like, would have accepted me, but like, why did I feel so scared to come out? And it's because society told, like, literally beat it down your throat, you know, like eating it for dinner, because that like our society is patriarchal, it's heteronormative, it's, you know, like it's all the things. And so sometimes even the most gentle, caring, queer affirming folks around you like can't protect you or save you from like the society that is like
the one you live in.
That we're all living in, right? So,
and like why this table isn't as like, you know, it doesn't branch outside of like a queer community, because I wanted to make sure that we did have space to just be together. And each one of you shared individually that you wanted to deepen those communities and like find even more people to branch out and connect with. Okay, so April, you get to like wrap us back in with the same question.
All right.
But yeah, let's hear it from your version.
So for me, I wish people understood that it's okay to be and to let be, which I find in our society that seems to be humanly impossible. Because everyone has to be involved in everyone's everything. Like, it's okay for you to be who you are, but a lot of people are afraid to be who they are because everyone over here is, I'd say, minding their business instead of, as my mother would say, minding the business that pays you. You're over here worrying about my business, you're worried about what I'm doing. So I find like, even with my students, I feel like they have to put on a persona because that's what they see at home. So I feel like if everyone had the opportunity and had the ability to be in the environment where they could just be who themselves, be who they are, it would be amazing. I think even for the people that had the time to mind everyone else's business, there's something that they're hiding inside and they don't feel like they can be who they are. So just giving everyone the opportunity, and if they understood it's okay to be you, good, the bad, and the ugly, just learn from it and move on.
Could not agree more.
I love that like simplicity that you just summed it up in. Like, everyone's lives would be so much more full and easier if like some people who have a whole lot of opinions about other people's lives would just back off, right? Like, that's a lot of the issues that we're having.
And self-reflect. You're so worried about me. Well, you self-reflect and take that energy and
use that energy elsewhere.
Yes.
We're good.
yeah, we can be in community, we can lean into conflict, we can, you know, like grow, we can learn new things. Like all of these things are related, and I think the like be and let be is such a, as you said, like a powerful, like succinct way to just like view our way of just operating in society. That means that we are we're living in community, but also not overstepping.
Yeah, you're like not imposing on other people's lives. Like, I feel like the beauty in that doesn't take away from community of like just be, right? Like I think sometimes people take that and they get too self-involved and they just are like going to tune out the rest of the world, right? But I think in the way that you said it and the way that you just like reflected it back to April was like, if we all just did that, like imagine how many more people would like live full happy lives because they actually got to exist. What I find really interesting about the way that the three of you all just like popcorn that question around is not only did you like build off of each other, but it also like reflects back to the conversation that we had in the early part of the conversation when we were actually talking about like not being comfortable like going to spaces by ourselves or not comfortable like branching out. Like it's probably a reflection of exactly this, right? Like if we could just be, it would probably be a lot more comfortable to go and be on our own.
Yeah.
Or like step into a space and not know someone and feel comfortable actually knowing someone.
Yeah.
But like we're not given tools for how to connect, how to build relationships, how to understand someone else's experience even if we don't understand their experience.
I think part of sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
go
cut
for
you
it,
off.
go
No,
for
I
it.
think that's one of the, I think social media is both a gift and a curse at the same time. And I think that's a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
I think in some ways, all these social media platforms have allowed people to bring more community together. But at the same time, it's also flipped it on its head where everybody's just up in each other's business all the time. And that's kind of the forefront and everything's taken at face value, whether it's a picture somebody posted or a reel or a snap or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
We're still trying to navigate how to best utilize that resource without making it a weapon, sort of.
I wanted to add, so I hear what you're saying, and I think that there is this disconnect between like generation to generation of like, I remember getting magazines when I was younger and being like, oh, she looks really skinny, you know, like she has big boot, like, you know, just all the message I was absorbing from print media or like from the TV. And now that we have social media, I'm not saying that social media is all good, but I think that, you know, like this happened with like rap music, this happened with pop music. Like whenever something new comes out in our society, there is a very quick like a reaction to dismiss it, to demonize it.
Yeah, we can engage with social media in a way that's like healthy, and positive,
and not
with
demonize
that awareness.
And not saying you were doing, not like,
No.
you were saying there's like good and bad.
Yeah,
and
I think that,
I think the bad stuff, like we already know like how to combat that.
Yes.
It's like, is our society remembering that like we just have to say to ourselves, or not, it's not always just super quick to be like, remember that's edited. But like, honestly, like, oh yeah.
Because also like there are good aspects to it, right?
Yeah.
Think about all the people who are in areas where they don't see reflections of themselves.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think as you said, like
this is
community
why
building.
this is why it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful, incredible aspect to it, but I feel like especially in this day and age, there's also this very dark side and dark turn that it's taken, because it can bring people together. It can also bully people and you know, make people feel bad about themselves. So it's just this it's this balance of back and forth of trying to make sure that we stay on the right side of it and not use it against each other.
So in your invitation, you had 3 questions that came with the invite where it probably seemed like those would be the first questions we actually ask because it was a lot about like introduction, who are you, how'd you come to the table? But I purposely didn't ask them at the beginning because I think there's a lot more value in getting to know people through questions like this. And you went as deep as you were comfortable and kept it as surface level as you were comfortable, right? Like we didn't like push each other to go any more deep than we were ready to. The questions that I did ask you to come with were, how would you introduce yourself if you didn't share where you work or your professional title? Why are you coming to the table? And what is the number one most important thing you want the others at the table to remember about you? I feel like we did get a chance to answer versions of that, right? Like we won't always know all parts of like who you are until you like spend more time with each other. but I feel like you introduced aspects of your personality and who you were. But there is the one question about like, what would you want someone to remember about you? Like once you leave, like what's that like feeling that you want people to take away with you? So if you had just like one quick thought about that, like what would it be?
I thought this was one of the hardest questions.
Yeah.
That's a tough question. I don't know how to answer this.
I came up with a very surface level answer, so I feel like it's not a
What
good
is it?
answer.
No.
What is it?
There's no wrong answer.
No, it's and now I have to give it because it's.
Yeah, that wasn't your excuse.
Can you run the surface level for a second?
Well, I feel like everyone's
No
going
judgment.
so deep, like we're so deep, and I'm going to say something so surface level.
Yeah, no, honestly.
Well, no. When I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, like, what do I want if I'm coming to this table and hoping to meet new people? I was like, I want to be the person that they're like, oh yeah, I want to go to happy hour with you, or like, oh, if you have a dog, like, let's do a doggy play date. Like, I want to be the person you contact because that sounds like something fun, or like, I want to try a new restaurant with you. Like, I want to be that person, and that's the takeaway. But that is.
Oh, I want to do all three of those things with you.
Happy hour. Okay, where's happy hour? I'm ready. Awesome. Yeah, I'm your girl. If you're down to doggy play date, go out to dinner, go out to happy hour.
Also, like all three of those things are like strategies and ways to like learn more about people. So it tells me like you want to keep learning about
Absolutely.
people, which like is important.
Absolutely. I've loved getting to know all of you, and I feel like we barely touched the surface. So I'm excited for the conversation to continue.
Piggyback off of what you just said, I think that would be sort of my takeaway is it's been incredible sitting here and getting to know everybody and being able to talk in such a deep and meaningful way that I feel like not many people get to do these days. I feel like a lot of conversation you have with even some of your closest friends can be very sort of surface and face value and not really sort of digging into stuff.
I think this is like an interesting question because I facilitate a lot of spaces, and it's like that's one of the first questions when I'm like planning a facilitation. I'm like, how do I want people to feel leaving the space that I'm creating? And you know, it's always like warm and like happy and you know, like good stuff. You know, it's always like, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's like I think it's just beautiful that like we can all show up in like the way that we have in this space, and I have like a lot of gratitude for this space, and I also think that like it's shown us that we can find community in like so many ways, unexpected ways, like odd ways. Like this isn't odd, like you know, like if I were to like, you know, I mean, I didn't really tell a ton of people about this, but I was like talking to my partner about it, and I was like, well, this is the deal. Like we're just gonna like, and she was like, it's all strangers, and I'm like, yeah, and she was like, okay, and so it's like. That would be like an oddball thing for me to like do kind of in my life. So I think it just like proves that like, you know, you can sit around a table with like a bunch of strangers and like find your commonalities and like find your community in like the things that you're discussing. You know, you putting yourself out there is a good thing, but like it can be really intimidating, but also like it's a beautiful thing because you can have this.
Well, I guess if you had to take one thing away from me, I'm very straight to the point and very concise in life, so that's just normally who I am. But this was a very good opportunity to speak, share a little bit more. I'm very talkative and very much all those things. I guess the more comfortable I get, that's usually what I give. But you all made me feel very comfortable. I was nervous at first. I think we all were. Like, you know, hey, I'm gonna come to this thing. She slid my DMs. I'm gonna eat dinner with strangers. You know, that's cool. But no, this was this was amazing. So yeah, definitely a priceless moment. And I'm ready for happy hour again. Step back out there.
So I think what I appreciate about this space, which I don't think I had anything to do with, but in future, like hangouts, please know that I intentionally show up raggedy and authentically. Like always with a fidget and like
I love, by the way. Yeah,
you know,
I noticed that.
You know, to just show up as you are, like honoring like nervousness, anxiety, like trepidation, but also like sometimes we might be tired or like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it, or like I committed, so I'll go, right? Like I'm never the one to cancel. So I'm always just like, come as you are. Like, would love to see you, would love to just connect at whatever level on the elevator you get off at, like, I'm there. It's giving David Pumpkins. So just like, hey. So I think that's what I would like you all to take away with. I like accept and honor and appreciate however you show up, and would love to just continue to be in community with all of you.
Thank you all. Because I also felt that everyone kind of just showed up as they were. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it. After this, I mean, like, hopefully you just like go forward and friends all the way. I don't know what that is.
That's so funny. Yeah, so like there's gonna be a group chat, right? Like, so actually,
That's what this was.
I was like, is there like a little ferret under the table, a little clicking noise?